Now, let us discuss some of the major characteristics of the muscles. But first, what is the work output during muscle contraction? Well, let me tell you that first. Whenever you lift a load, your muscle contracts. This contraction produces energy. This energy is transferred to the load that you are lifting. If you want to calculate the work output of muscle contraction, then the equation goes as follows. W is equal to L and D, where W is the work output, L is the load, and D is the distance. Both the load and distance are directly proportional to the work output. This means if you are lifting a bag of potatoes of 5 pounds, the work output will be increased. And if you are lifting a hair clip, the work output will be decreased. Similarly, if the distance that is made to lift up the load is increased, the work output will also be increased. There are two types of muscle contractions: isometric contraction, isotonic contraction. Let us talk about all of them a bit. First of all is an isometric contraction. Picture your muscles as a team of tiny workers in your body. Now, when these workers contract, it means they are squeezing and getting shorter, just like when you make a fist with your hand. Usually, when muscles contract, they create movement, like when you bend your arm to lift something. But what happens when these hard-working muscles want to flex their power without actually moving anything? That's when isometric contractions come into play. Isometric contractions are like a special superpower that allows your muscles to generate force and tension without causing any visible movement in your body. Think of it as a muscle standoff. When you perform an isometric contraction, your muscles tighten up, but they don't lengthen or shorten. It's like pushing against an immovable wall or holding a heavy book in midair without letting it drop. You can feel the muscles working and straining, but your body remains perfectly still. Isometric contractions are fantastic for building strength and stability because they challenge your muscles to generate maximum force. They're like a secret training session for your muscles, making them stronger and more resilient. Now, when you're trying to open a stubborn jar lid, you grip it tightly and use all your strength to twist it open, but it won't budge. That moment when you're exerting force without the lid moving is an example of an isometric contraction. Your muscles are working hard, but there's no visible movement until the lid finally loosens. These contractions also help in maintaining good posture and stability. If you are trying to balance on one leg, like a graceful flamingo, the muscles in your leg contract isometrically to keep you steady and prevent you from wobbling. It's like they're acting as sturdy pillars, keeping you upright and well balanced. Remember, while isometric contractions are fantastic for building strength, they have their limitations. They don't provide the benefits of a full range of motion, so it's essential to combine them with other types of exercises to keep your muscles and joints healthy and flexible. So, the next time you're squeezing your hand into a fist or holding a challenging position, think of the magical world of isometric contractions. Your muscles are flexing their strength, even without moving a muscle, and becoming even mightier in the process. The next one is isotonic contractions. Isotonic contractions are like the get things moving mode of your muscles. When your muscles contract isotonically, it means they're doing the heavy lifting to create visible movement in your body. There are further two types of isotonic contractions, concentric and eccentric. Concentric contractions are a type of muscle contraction that occurs when your muscles shorten while generating force. They are responsible for creating movement in your body. Picture your muscles as a team of dedicated workers pulling on the strings to make your body move. During a concentric contraction, your muscles contract and become stronger, exerting force to overcome resistance and bring body parts closer together. It's like a tug-of-war between your muscles and the load they're working against, with your muscles emerging victorious. Here's an example to help illustrate the concept. If you're doing a bicep curl exercise with a dumbbell, as you curl the weight toward your shoulder, your bicep muscles are contracting concentrically. They shorten and pull on your forearm bones, allowing your hand to move closer to your shoulder. This movement is made possible by the force generated by your contracting bicep muscles. Concentric contractions are often associated with the positive or lifting phase of an exercise. For example, when you're doing a push-up, the upward movement where you push your body away from the ground involves concentric contractions of your chest, shoulder, and arm muscles. Eccentric contractions are a type of muscle contraction that occurs when your muscles lengthen while still generating force. They play a crucial role in controlling movement and decelerating the body. Think of eccentric contractions as your muscles acting like gentle brakes, allowing you to control the speed and direction of a movement. To understand eccentric contractions, let's continue with our previous example of the bicep curl exercise. After you curl the dumbbell toward your shoulder using concentric contractions, you need to lower the weight back down. This lowering phase is where eccentric contractions come into play. As you slowly lower the dumbbell, your bicep muscles are working, but this time, they are lengthening instead of shortening. Eccentric contractions are often associated with the negative or lowering phase of an exercise. During this phase, your muscles are still actively engaged, but they're lengthening under tension. It's like your muscles are gently resisting the pull of gravity and controlling the descent. Eccentric contractions are incredibly important for movement control, stability, and injury prevention. They allow you to perform controlled and smooth movements, absorb impact, and protect your joints. They are particularly vital in activities like running, jumping, and landing, where you need to decelerate and control your body's movement. For example, when you're running, your leg muscles undergo eccentric contractions as they lengthen to absorb the impact of your foot hitting the ground. These contractions help in controlling the movement, providing stability, and preventing excessive strain on your joints. Eccentric contractions are also known to produce a higher amount of force compared to concentric contractions. This increased force production during eccentric contractions makes them beneficial for muscle strengthening and building power. However, it's important to note that eccentric contractions can lead to muscle soreness, especially if you're not accustomed to the exercise or if you're introducing new movements. This muscle soreness, known as delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, usually appears 24 to 48 hours after exercise. Isotonic contractions overall are helpful for building strength, endurance, and overall muscle power. They're like your muscle superheroes, helping you perform daily activities, sports, and physical feats. Think about jumping. When you jump, your leg muscles contract concentrically, propelling you upward off the ground. But what happens when you land? Your leg muscles contract eccentrically to control the descent, gently absorbing the impact and protecting your joints. It's important to note that isotonic contractions can be performed with various loads and speeds. You can lift heavy weights or perform quick movements like jumping jacks. Both types challenge your muscles in different ways, helping you build strength, power, and coordination. So, whether you're lifting groceries, running, dancing, or even playing your favorite musical instrument, isotonic contractions are there, assisting your muscles in creating movement and achieving incredible things. Remember, to maintain a well-rounded fitness routine, it's important to combine isotonic contractions with other types of exercises like isometric contractions and flexibility training. Now that you understand the power of isotonic contractions, go out there, embrace your muscles' abilities, and enjoy the wonders of movement. So, that was all about the muscle contraction. We talked about muscle physiology, then the mechanism, and lastly, we threw some light on energy sources and characteristics of muscles. Keep watching for more physiology videos. Welcome to sqadia.com, your one-stop destination for medical online learning. Dive into our extensive catalog of in-depth animated videos, meticulously tailored for students, residents, and even practicing healthcare professionals. With over 40 medical courses available, covering topics from the fundamental anatomy to the complex endocrinology and everything in between. Explore various teaching styles. Engage with our immersive videos, purposefully designed to make learning not only incredibly enjoyable, but exceptionally effective. To get started on your path to excellence, take advantage of our exclusive free trial and gain immediate access to a wealth of educational resources. sqadia.com, your journey to exceptional medical education begins here.